Good morning, guys. It's a beautiful day down here in southeast Georgia, and it's going to be nice and warm today, about 80 degrees. So I'm heading over to Savannah Harley-Davidson for demo days this morning. I'm going to go ride some new 2025 models. I think I'll concentrate mostly on the Softails today because I didn't get a chance to ride them last year, but ought to be fun, so come along with me.
Okay, I apologize for the voiceover, but there was some music playing in the background, so just to keep from getting a copyright strike, I decided to do this voiceover and just save myself the trouble. Just checking out the bikes they got in the lineup today for the demo days. Now, the way Savannah Harley does it, they do a group-led ride. So they have their, I believe it's their ride school instructors will take out people in groups on these bikes. And there's a short route that they have planned. I believe some of those guys are out right now on a few of these bikes, checking out that route. So some of them aren't here to see, but the ones I really want to ride is the Heritage, those Street Glide Ultras, because I want to see how those lowers feel, you know, along with those bigger flaps under the fairing and that larger windshield. I want to see how much better the wind protection is and see how much the head buffeting is reduced by that. And then, of course, I want to ride a couple CVOs. There's two CVO Road Glides. One's the Rally Red CVO ST, and then the other Road Glide is a Blue Streak CVO Road Glide, and then there is a a Street Glide CVO in Raven Fade, which I probably won't ride that one. But looking forward to riding some of these bikes. I really enjoy riding that ST. It's not really set up for me. The handlebars are just a little bit too far forward. I love as you saw there on that 25 Road Glide, those stock handlebars are perfect for me. And same handlebars I have on my 24 Road Glide. I love the way that breakout looks, but I probably won't ride that one either because it's just not the kind of bike that fits me. And but man, that thing's full of power. It's a lot of fun to ride. So anyway, we're gonna do some group rides, like I said, around this short route and check out some of these bikes. So stick around and we'll go check them out.
Be riding the Iron Horse Metallic Street Glide Ultra first. Excited to see how those lowers are in the wind. Of course, I had an Ultra before, but it wasn't one of these new ones with these new lowers that are less coverage, so hoping that they actually are really nice. So I'll let you know how it feels.
So once again, we got some music in the background that I just want to cut out, so I will just do this through this voiceover mic. What I'm noticing here when I sit on this motorcycle, and this comes from just riding my 24 Road Glide for the last year, is that these handlebars feel really low to me. And I always felt like the Ultra and Street Glide handlebars were low anyway, and I'm not a very tall guy, I'm 5'8". So I know they got to be uncomfortable for some people, maybe a lot of people. I think a lot of people change these bars right away anyway, but like I said, after riding that Road Glide for a year and having my bars up a lot higher, these just felt really strange to me. Okay, we're going to roll out and hit the road on the route on this Street Glide Ultra. And you know, it feels just like my Street Glide did before. Maybe the seat's a little bit different. This seat actually is a lot more comfortable than the stock Road Glide seat that came with my bike. And I think that when they brought out the 24 Street Glide and Road Glide standards, they both had the same seat. And they're not really that comfortable to me. I had to change it and put an Ultra seat on mine for when I do long trips, and I use my stock seat around town. But this seat feels really good. It's not the same seat as the old Ultra seat that I put on my Road Glide, but it's definitely got the same comfort level. It feels like I would have to ride it a lot longer, but it definitely feels a lot more comfortable, first impression, compared to what the stock Road Glide and Street Glide seats were from last year. So they stepped it up a little bit for the Ultra.
Here we go. First ride out for the morning. Got to get used to this clutch and these handlebars, man. I tell you, it's like riding all over again for the first time. Wow. And no heel shifter. Got to remember that when it comes time to shift gears. do feel like this is a little bit lower than my Road Glide. I feel more flat-footed on this bike as it is than on my Road Glide. Maybe it's because I have the suspension adjusted up a little bit with the preload. But yeah, this bike feels pretty good, except for these handlebars. I cannot believe how smooth this thing is. I know I remember last year riding the 24 models and they were so smooth. This thing is so smooth. And as far as wind protection, it's a lot better, I believe, with this little bit taller windshield than what the normal Street Glide has. And with these lowers, I think it really takes out all the wind buffeting. So, pretty pleasant ride. A lot of bikes I'm excited to ride today. This was one of them.
Now I can't say enough about how good the wind protection is on this bike now. With this taller windshield and those lowers and those bigger flaps under the fairing, there's literally zero head buffeting. I know we're not going highway speeds here, but there were some moments on the highway before we turned onto this road that we got up to speed, and there really was no wind buffeting. And I have the wind cover off of the camera here, so you can hear that there's not a whole lot of wind noise hitting the microphone, so it's definitely protecting the rider a lot better from the wind, and definitely would be a much more comfortable ride long distance.
Man, those lowers make a huge difference with the wind. No helmet buffeting whatsoever. Super smooth. I wish they looked like a little more like the old ones, but I get it. They're a new design. But if you're looking for something that is super smooth with not a lot of wind buffeting, this Ultra might be for you. Next ride is going to be on this awesome 25 Heritage Softail. Looking forward to this one. I haven't ridden one for a long time. I think the last one I rode was a 2008. So I'm definitely looking forward to this ride. Well, this one definitely feels a lot more my size. I'm absolutely flat-footed on this bike. Handlebars feel pretty good.
Great job!
So we'll see how this goes. Very comfortable riding position. Man, these things are nice. I've been looking at Heritages lately, thinking how bad I wanted one. But man, this thing rides nice. And I'm not even out of the parking lot yet. Seat feels comfortable. Bars are reasonably comfortable. brakes on this are not as strong as the brakes on my Road Glide, which makes sense. They only have single rotor front brakes. But man, this bike is comfortable. I'm actually surprised at some of these stock seats so far. The two that I've ridden on have been great.
For this next ride, I'm going to hop on this Rally Red CVO Road Glide ST. I have ridden one of these before, the 24 model, which was a blast to ride, but those handlebars are they're quite a reach for me, and the angles are a little bit different, so they're not very comfortable for me. And you know, maybe some people like them. I would have to change them, but the rest of the bike I love. The seat's actually not too bad. I don't really love the smaller floorboards, but I can handle them. But for the price tag on this bike, I think I would just keep my 24 Road Glide. I like the comfort of it a lot better, and personally I think it looks as good. Now this bike is a little more flashy. It's got a way better stereo than mine, which I wish mine had, and maybe one day I'll upgrade that. But yeah, this bike is a blast to ride, and sure looks good, but it wouldn't be for me. I wouldn't want to put one of these in my garage. It's just a little bit too much and not enough comfort. I think the guy next to me was pretty excited about riding that CVO Street Glide. Like he had found his best friend. It seems to me like this method of doing demo days takes a little longer. I mean, they were whipping through them a little bit faster this year than they were last year. But it just seems like I would prefer if they just had the bikes out and you could come in and ride the ones you wanted at, you know, whenever they were available. And I know there are some dealerships that do that, and it just seems like it would be a lot safer to me. There, you know, I'm not knocking any riders at all, but there are different skill levels of riders in these groups, and sometimes it gets a little. There's some close calls, and there was actually a slight issue at this particular event. But I don't typically like to ride in groups, but for this it was okay because it was kind of controlled. But I would prefer if they would just let you come and take the bike and do a little ride on your own, so you can get the feel for the bike, take it where you want to take it. And but I understand why they don't. That's a lot of money to just turn loose out on the road. Wow, the sound of that thing breathing in all that air. This bike absolutely has the cool factor, and I actually really like this red color. Usually I don't like red motorcycles, but this CVO ST is really a head turner. And if you're looking for something flashy, you should go check one of these out at your local dealer. Take it for a ride. You'll probably really like it. I won't spend a lot of time on this one because, as you guys know, the CVO is their flagship and it's their top of the line bike. So they put almost everything that you'd ever want in this bike. I mean, and I say almost because I would definitely want to change exhaust just like probably everyone else. But for the most part, this bike is ready to go, hit the street, and look cool, sound cool, ride great, and you know, do all that stuff without putting a bunch of extra money into it. But you know, we all like to make our bikes our own, so I'm sure there are a lot of guys that put a lot of extra cash into these too.
I'm taking this Lowrider S. First time on a Lowrider ever. Definitely a different feel with this bike. I'm excited to ride it though. Pegs, no floorboards. Haven't had pegs for a long time. bit getting used to this bike. Oh, he's killed it. Oh my gosh, I feel so bunched up. I feel so bunched up on this motorcycle with these mid controls. I'm not a tall guy, I'm 5'8". Oh my. Yeah, I'm definitely used to the road glide with the forward controls, or not forward controls, but floorboards that I can stretch out with. I don't know if those are considered forward controls or not. Maybe they are. I do love the looks of the bike though. Aside from the fairing, I'm not a fan of the little mini fairing, but the rest of the bike I think looks great. This also comes with ride modes. You got rain mode, road, and sport on the Lowrider S, which is nice.
Now the reason we're all riding single file in this section, there's some rough pavement here that they were wanting us to avoid. And on some of the touring bikes, I did hit that rough stuff just so I could see how smooth it made the ride. And let me tell you, that CVO Road Glide really took it out, the Blue Streak. But they wanted us to ride in single file to avoid it, and I understand why, because you got some less experienced riders in there that might have a little bit of trouble hitting those bumps. But you know, as far as this Lowrider S, it was a great bike, and I could see that if I was used to riding something with mid controls and that kind of handlebars, and if I was a little bit younger, I would really enjoy riding this bike. It was a lot of fun, and it looks great.
But yeah, the Lowrider S is a cool bike. I just don't fit on it right. I feel like I'm too bunched up. My feet are too high up, and like I said, I'm only 5'8", so I'm not very tall. So technically, I'm probably the right size for this bike. The seat doesn't feel bad. I'm definitely really solid flat-footed when I'm at a stop sign, stoplight. So that's good. And it's not terribly uncomfortable. It is what it is. Riding this beautiful CVO Road Glide this time because I wanted some comfort. Ridden one before, but I wanted one that felt good. Give my arms a break. And something a little bit more relaxed with controls. This is a beautiful bike. That'll be a fun ride. Beautiful bike. I'm going to enjoy this one. Yes, this is what I'm used to right here. This is the riding position that I love. Almost straight up, arms a little bit bent, knees are, I don't feel like they're up at all, you know. And like I said on the other bike, I'm not a tall guy, I'm 5'8", so I wouldn't really have high knees anyway, but it just felt cramped. This one does not feel cramped. It feels perfectly comfortable, just like my Road Glide does. I love the way it feels. So, I'm pumped about riding this one. days. Yeah, man, if I was gonna get rid of that road glide, I'd get another road glide. But I'd get the CDO. The stereo sounds so much better. And the color on this bike is amazing. I didn't think I liked this color when I saw it online, but after seeing it in person, it looks a lot better.
Well, I gotta say, the highlight of my day was riding this Blue Streak CVO, and you know, the CVO definitely lived up to its reputation. Rode beautifully, sounded great, stereo was awesome. Of course, you need to put some slip-ons on, but it sounds okay the way it is. I mean, I wouldn't want to leave it that way, but you know, if you didn't want to put slip-ons on it, it actually still sounds pretty good. And the seat comfort is there. Handlebars are awesome. Like I said, it's just like the one that I have, the 24 Road Glide that I ride, so not much different there. But I really love this blue painted inner fairing. And in my opinion, when you go buy a bike, you spend all this time trying to decide what style of bike you like, and then you try to figure out what color you want, and then when you're riding a bike, you don't even get to see that color, which may sound lame to some, but to me, it's like I would rather see that color so I don't have to look down at the tank when I'm riding. Probably not very highly recommended and not very safe, but with this painted inner fairing, you get to see that color while you're riding, you get to enjoy it, and yeah, this blue color is amazing, and it's an awesome bike. So if you get a chance, definitely go check one out and give it a ride.
Wow, this 121 is a good, strong engine. Now my 117 has a lot of power, and it rides really nice. But man, this 121 is something else. I love it. Alright, so I got this beautiful yellow street bob right here this time. 25 miles got to 2-in-1, which I like. That'll be an interesting ride with the 117. It's a small bike with a big engine. So this ought to be fun. Looking forward to this one. I've been waiting for this one all day because I know it's going to be fun. Oh yeah. Alright. I don't know about this seat, but it's going to be fine. It's going to be a good ride. Once I get my feet off the ground, I think it'll be better. Again, mid controls, which I'm not a big fan of, but hey, we're going to do it anyway. This big old 117 on this little old street bob is probably going to be a lot of pull because there's not much bike here. So it ought to be a lot of fun speed-wise. Like the Breakout. The Breakout is nothing but power to me. This got a 117 also, a little bit bigger bike, but it just pulls like mad. So looking forward to this little ride on this street bob. Here we go. Yeah, my seating position is a little, the front end is a little different. I do like the black wrinkle paint on these handlebars, a little something different than the normal blacked out bike. That looks pretty cool. And I do like the 2-in-1 exhaust. Don't like the controls, the mid controls. But again, I'm used to riding a road glide, so it's a little different. We'll see how it goes. Quite a bit of a break between the last ride and this one because we had a little bit of a mishap coming back into the parking lot. One of the riders lost control and crashed right into the side of another rider, which didn't look like anybody was hurt too seriously. I know the guy on the bike that got hit into was had a little bit of pain in his leg, looked like he got hit in his leg, so definitely not fun. Glad that everybody's walking away on their own power. Nobody had to go for medical attention.
Now, just a couple of miles before this section of video, there was a full-size suitcase in the middle of the highway. and we were all bunched up in a group. And I noticed I looked down at my speedometer, I looked back up, and I saw the rider in front of me swerving to miss this gigantic suitcase in the middle of the highway. So I did my best to avoid it, went around to the right side of it, and I thought I was going to make it around, but then I noticed it was really close still. I thought my foot was going to hit it, so I lifted up my foot, and I felt it graze the bike. And to me, it felt like it just grazed the foot peg, and it spun that suitcase off away from me. But the very next stop that we came to, I had no front brakes, and as I sat there, I could pump the brakes up and I could get them to work again after pumping them up, and rode a little bit further down the next block, no front brakes again. Pumped it back up, started riding, and I was looking down in this video. I'm not sure if I caught any of that or not, looking down to see the front rotor. Actually, the front rotor got bent. So as I was riding, the rotor was bent and moving back and forth, and it was actually spreading the caliper and the pads apart on that front brake. So every time I stopped, I had no front brake. Once I pumped it back up, closed that caliper back down, I had front brakes again. And then the next time I'd slow down, it would do the same thing. So it honestly didn't feel like it hit the rotor, but it obviously did. Bounced off that front rotor just enough to bend it and caused me to not have any front brakes. I was able to make it up the road here to where I switched bikes with the instructor there in front of me, and he rode this one back to the dealership, and I rode the Lowrider ST that he's on. So that is a wrap on demo days for me today. I think I'm gonna head on back home. I rode several bikes today, my favorite being, again, the CVO Road Glide, which, I'm a little bit partial to the Road Glide since I ride one. I did enjoy the Street Bob, but the Street Bob had a little bit of an incident as I was going down the highway. It was a pretty close call. There was a big suitcase in the highway, and it just came out of nowhere and barely missed it, and it felt like it just barely grazed the bike, but evidently it hit the front rotor and bent it. So they took it out of rotation. I swapped bikes with the ride leader that was back with us, and he gave me the Lowrider ST, the blue one, which was an awesome bike, and I love that color, that blue burst. But yeah, I had a great day. It's been a long day. It's only like 2:30 now. I've been here since 9:30, so it's been several hours I've been here at the Harley dealership. But it's been fun. It's been a good day. I look forward to demo days every year, so thankful I got to do it again, and looking forward to next year. I'm going to go ahead and cut today's video right here, and I'm going to say thank you guys to everyone that has stopped to watch the video. I really appreciate all of you who have subscribed. Please consider subscribing if you're new here, and leave us a comment down below. Have you been to any demo days? What bikes did you ride? Which ones were your favorite? Come back and see us again. Appreciate you guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one.